Hello. I wasn't extremely prepared for this. Today is, I guess it's Wednesday now. It was Tuesday. It is, yeah, it literally was just Tuesday. That date's wrong. That's funny. 22nd going to the 23rd. The reason why I know that was because I'm looking at my watch. Uh, Cute little watch. Nope, that is inverted, isn't it? Which makes this even the more funny. You can't see the. It's not super obvious. Where. Yeah, it's not gonna matter. Um, I have a cute little watch. That date was saying it's the 22nd. Today's the 23rd because it just flipped over to midnight. Anyways, I want to talk today about a really interesting idea and something that's come up again and again and again in my job. It's the idea that just keeps hitting because this is sort of like this parable is the parable that is required for the job. There is a parable in Matthew about an unjust steward. A master has given a servant the task of record keeping and of lending money and collecting money. But at this time, the servant has come to the understanding somehow that he is probably to be let go of. So, once he understands this, he goes and starts selling debts for half off with the understanding that not only will they uh, be favorable to the master in the future, to his master, but they'll be favorable to him in the future too, after he's gone. Um, so this story, if you're not well lived, the story seems really like he's trading in his master's property for his own benefit. And that's not the correct way to understand this parable. And I'm coming at this from a customer service perspective. And when I've been doing this job now for I've been doing customer service for 4 years, retail for 4 years. Especially, and this gets more and more valuable the more you work for bigger retailers. It is actually in everyone's best interest that you settle the debt for a portion of its value to help everyone along. I know that sounds crazy. If it's $1 million and you want to sell it for half, that kind of sucks. Especially if you are working on behalf of someone else. But it's but it's actually in everyone's best interest. So to put this into perspective from my viewpoint, I am a front end supervisor. So is to one of my goals is to make sure my customers leave happy and have purchased their groceries. We're not getting into the other half of that, but the idea is I am here to help smooth things along. Corporate actually is kind of fond of the idea that I, once in a while, if I have to make something right for the customer, I do that. That means sometimes the customer says, "Hey, last time I bought a box of crackers and they weren't there was no seal on part of the packaging, so they're completely stale." And they bring in the crackers, and we'll say, "Yeah, I'll say, just go grab a new one and leave me the old box. We just need something to scan out." Um, Sometimes that is, "Hey, I forgot my bananas last time." I just say, "Just go get new bananas." In case you're wondering, bananas are, I think we break even maybe. Bananas are 49 cents a pound. To put it in perspective, one banana is about 3 tenths a pound. So you could literally, if someone walks out with 6 bananas, that's $1. And I don't even think it's like that much. When we're talking the average order, it's somewhere in like the range of $50. Bananas, manager's gonna laugh and say, "Go have your bananas." Um, it Part of my job is helping customers. Sometimes they're like, "Hey, this is closed steak. Can I have for for a discounted price?" I'm like, "Yep, standard's half off." Because that's actually what a lot of other departments do. Um, Bakery does half off for a majority of their close dated stuff. And like other departments, if stuff's close dated like dairy or meat, it's usually around 50%. So I just 50% we're done. Um, there's all sorts of instances where to smooth things over, it is in corporate's best interest that I help the customer and let them come back. Like I convince them that, hey, this is a good place to shop. Sometimes there's issues, we'll just take care of it. We'll eat the cost a little bit. Um, Now, of course, you have to understand this happens all across. Like I know this sounds crazy. You go to Walmart, this is not happening that much, but this is a grocery store. Uh, we know we charge a little bit extra, but some of that is we pay our employees a bit more. I don't know so much about cleaner working environment, but my managers would rather me take care of my customers. I end up being an unjust steward more days than not. To also put this into perspective, there's a lot of stuff that we have to damage out for the sake of corporate because they have to meet safety compliance metrics with the FDA. We sell food, we have to meet health safety requirements. So this means that if someone decides, you're gonna think this is crazy. If someone decides they do not want their cut deli meat that they had cut, we have to take it back to the deli, and the deli's gonna damage it out. Shh, that sounds disgusting, but we can't sell that. Um, Other stuff that happens. Butter. I know this is gonna sound magical, but we can't put back butter. We're not supposed to. So there's been times like this butter is still rock solid. I could I could bludgeon my misbehaving employees to death with it still. We still have to damage it out because it's no longer cold. And it says keep refrigerated, which means the FDA tells us we have to keep this refrigerated or else we can't sell it. You When you work at a grocery store long enough, you come to understand, especially if you have a supervisor like me, that there's a veneer of um, of caring, and then there is right under that there's the standards we have to meet, and oftentimes those standards ex- will bleed through. So we just have to like there's times when we damage out more. Most of the times we actually damage out more product um, than we end up losing in theft. To put it in perspective, though, that is, mm, I don't know about that one. I've been told that several times, and I trust the guy, but I don't know if I trust the numbers. It's the people who steal want that they don't want to pay for. I'd say about 80% of customers that we make things right for aren't trying to get one over on us. They have a serious complaint. We just take care of them. Um, Sometimes they are trying to get one over on us. And that's just where you just have to have experience. You have to work with customers to understand. You have to work with people to understand what's going on behind the scene. You have to read the script that they're playing, that they're trying to play on you. Most customers are just like, hey, this was bad. This ice cream was thawed and refrozen, and it tastes disgusting. Can I get a new one, please? Most of the time, like I know there's a lot more people at customer service that won't take the customer's word for it. There's a lot of times when I just take care of the customer. because most of the times these people, they just want to be made right. They just want more product. They don't care. Like, they've already purchased it. They just want a new one because it just failed. Um, it's better to be a dishonest. It's more morally upright to be a dishonest steward than to be an exacting um, debt a debt collector. And that really, like, I know that sounds weird, but like, in this world, not everything goes right, and it is often your responsibility, if you are a leader, to help smooth things over. Um, Sometimes that means that you have to make things happen that isn't in your boss's best interest in the short term. But in the long term, it is better for everyone. Um, and actually, this is, I know this, and like, this is actually a Christian idea. I don't think, how do I put this? I don't know what other religions teach this, but this is actually something that's helped the West out. Um, and I think it's probably completely anti banking to do this. If you start giving out debts and then you see people who can't afford to support the debts, who can't afford to fulfill their debts, and you start forgiving it, um, you completely demolish the competition. Um, so this is actually why Christ calls us to forgive each other our debts as He has forgiven us. This is one of the this is like one of the hyper important reasons why we should do this. Um, because if people have to go take out debt from people who won't forgive them, those people, like, we have to be a competing force to drive that out. Um, I'll just be honest. I'm pretty sure debt is a tool of control over a populace. It is what, when Marx said that religion is the opiate of the masses, I think it's debt. And it's not religion. Because I think religion brings out shame and guilt as a, some people will use it as a control mechanism. If in shame-based societies, they use it as a control mechanism. But debt does the exact same thing on this world. It does worse. And imagine a government in debt. Those who issue money and expect returns hold power over those who take that money that they haven't earned yet. This is that. Here's the thing. This belief system that I have. It's not even a belief system. Just my claim that debt is morally abhorrent to take on, and then it's even more morally abhorrent to service. That's morally abhorrent for both parties. It's getting me into a lot of trouble with my family, but that's okay because I think they are short-sighted. How should I end this? How about it's been a while since I've talked about what's going on in my life. I'll just do that now, before I go. First of all, I got here. It's really hard to see. I got a tattoo. It's healing very, very well. I'm gonna change up my. I'm gonna change a lot of the imagery on my channel and start, like, actually. Because the way I'm living, the life I'm living now. I'm gonna start changing my channel to represent who I am, not who I was. I got this about 3 weeks ago. Actually, no, it's been 4 weeks. It's fully healed. I took very good care of it. You can't tell from here, but there are a couple of light spots. You actually have to go looking. Like I noticed them about 3 days in after I took off the plastic. But that's because I spend a lot of time with it because it's on my body. Most people can't tell. Most people can't tell the minute um, flaws in it. That's okay. When I go in, I may talk to them about adjusting that, but I don't know. It, to me, like, depending upon how I bend my arm, there's some very minor adjustments. Like, there's some very minor deviations from what I had intended, but it looks beautiful. Not everyone gets perfect tattoos, and people who do, they are usually very well patterned. I drew this myself. The tattoo artist didn't know what they were doing. They just walked in and they did the outline, did the shading. Like, I mean, she knew what she was like. She knew how to do a tattoo from scratch. But like, when you're just following a pattern that someone else made versus one that you've done 100 times, uh, it's just different. Um, Tattoo artist is wonderful. She comes and shops at my. She comes and she's one of my somewhat regulars. She's not in there every day, but she stops in every so often because Kroger's closer to the tattoo shop than Walmart is. Um, I've seen her twice since the tattoo. It looks good. Um, just in general, I'm gonna start updating my channel, so expect more pictures of myself. Like I'm gonna put up an actual picture of myself. Um, that's the first thing. Second thing, I'm changing. I'm just gonna change a whole bunch. The banner is gonna change. My picture is getting updated. I look like a very different man today than when I posted that, but that's a good thing because like I look a lot better as a man today. I've lost. I'm still 235. I was aiming for 220. I don't know. Um, I think some of it's just like my willpower. It's kind of failed for like last 6 7 months. And actually, I hit 225 about 6 months ago when I had my last cold. I'm probably going to go down throughout the winter. I'm probably going to lose another 10 pounds and I'm going to hit my 225 again. And I'm probably going to stay there. And the reason why is because winter is when it's just easier for me to do all this stuff. I don't know why, but my desires just start coming down as the weather drops. My impulse control, I just don't have as many impulses. My impulse control is enough that I don't put on weight right now, thankfully. So maybe next year I'll be 225, which is my goal. I think there was a lot of people that go under 200. That's healthy for them. I think I look fine at 235. I think I'll look fine at 225. At some point, I will not feel fine looking as skinny as I will be. And that's okay because that's just okay. Because I know why. Because that isn't my job in life. I'm not here to look good for other people. While I do look decent enough for other people, one of my goals is to find a girlfriend. I'm 30 now, but that's okay. Um, this is like the time when I should start looking for a wife because like I'm in my prime enough that like women do respect me. Um, I tend to be like just short of girlfriend area with a lot of these women. Either they immediately find me attractive, then I just fade right back out, or they or like they don't even notice me, and then I'm like right there on the edge. I don't care. Eventually, one girl's gonna be like, yeah, he's worth taking time to get to know. It'll just be a waiting game. And like I'm just gonna be honest with you, like I'm accumulating a savings account such that I can buy a house in the next year or two. I'll say two. By the end of the year, I'm going to hit 20 grand in savings. By the next year, I'll probably hit 30 grand. Um, Anything else going on in my life? I went and wore black for 40 days straight. I remember this now. I don't think I got the video uploaded. I wore black for 40 days straight to see how people behaved when I was wearing black versus how people behaved when I was wearing multicolors. Um, First of all, I actually look really, really, really good in black. I just do. I'm a lot of my new cashiers have seen me only in black. That's gonna sound crazy, but I have a lot of high schoolers, and a lot of the high schoolers, some of them, some of them just need moved departments, just done. But a lot of them respect me, and they have a different vibe around me than when I got brand new high schoolers when I was wearing whatever colors I wanted. And some of it's just I look more put together when I'm in all black. It's so much easier. If it's black, it blends well together because it's all black. It's just a little bit easier to do in today's society, in today's wardrobe. And I'm not doing like crazy like nose rings. I have one tattoo. I'm not crazy. However, I do command a lot of respect, and that is also because of the way I just carry myself. 5 years ago, I was a wallflower. Nowadays, like, people respect me. It's just gonna be a little bit. I have some issues with authority figures still, and the ones that I don't have issues with, I've explained to them some of what's going on. It's whatever. I did not have to make this 20 minutes. Sorry to waste some of your time. Life updates. I hope this reaches some people. I want to slowly work on some of Christ's teachings and explain how they're playing out in my life. That's just what I'm doing right now. I think maybe in the future this is gonna sound crazy, especially for someone like me, but I may start doing some interviews with some like normal everyday people. I'm just gonna ask them simple questions like, "What do you believe?" I know that's simple, but it's very broad. Just whatever like you when you ask broad enough questions, you can identify someone's framework that they run things through. You can identify the core stories, and you can identify the core narratives of the libraries that people use to map the world onto. That means how they map people, how they map, uh, how they map how individuals think. Because that's actually two separate things. I know it sounds weird, but there's there's the person that's the object, and then there's the person that's the brain that's working behind the physical body. And that shouldn't be, but you can treat someone like that for a while and then actually integrate that. You can disintegrate and reintegrate like a dialogue. Because like sometimes people do things that aren't in their best interest. People do things that aren't even that they would consider immoral, and they just do them. And like sometimes you just have to figure that out, because that's just what a psychologist does. And my suggestion to everyone from now on is going to be think a little bit more like a psychologist if you need help figuring out who's doing what, why they're doing things. Yeah, my goal is going to be soon to interview people. I know this is going to sound crazy, but I've met enough. I've met now two morticians. They're very, very cool people. I'd like to get to know them a little bit more. Like they see the world in a very different light than the rest of us, and they're so cool to me. I know their jobs kind of suck, but getting to know someone like that would be really cool. I just don't know. Like I would never have thought that getting to know someone like a manager would have been cool. Like understanding how they think, why they think that. Sometimes it's just control. Like there are those people that just control, but when you meet the people that go more than just this is my job, this is I control these people because they're under my dominion. This is how we have to do things. Once you get to why they have to do the things that they do the way they do them, other than just this is a power game and I just have to maintain control. If you can get to the people that know what they're doing and why they're doing it, and you get to their frame, if you get to their library, their narratives, they're really cool people. Um, Probably there's going to be teachers like that and librarians, computer scientists. Once you get to some interesting people, they're going to be really interesting. People who've lived a little bit longer. Um, that's something I've actually learned. Like, I don't actually like high schoolers because they just haven't lived long enough to be interesting people. Um, yeah. So that's like some of the future thing. That's one of the future things I'm going to do. The next future thing, I'm going to um, go through my paper recycling process with you guys. I'm going to use whatever I can to make a phone mount above me, and you guys can watch as I'm doing the things in front of me. Or like I'll probably like have the thing I'm using now. I'll probably point it at like this here, like this angle facing. Let's see, down. Yeah, no, like this angle. Yeah, you can see it this way. This angle facing down onto the. Nope, it'd be like this for you guys. Onto whatever I'm doing, opposing me. So you can probably see my face, but you'll definitely see my hands doing it. I mean, I want people to see this is what I do to make paper. That's my goal. I made this a 30-minute video. Ha ha ha. Um, yeah. I'm gonna for right now. I'm just gonna start posting these videos here and there and see where things go. It's not gonna be every day. It can't be every day. I have too much going on in my life. I am. It's not that I'm self-obsessed. It's that there's enough people that need me to do things that I am a busy man. Um, I'll become more busy if I get a girlfriend and get married and start having kids, but um, I'm just not quite there yet, and most of the women aren't there yet. Yeah.